Hello, this is Kenneth. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about emotional self-awareness practices. There are many different practices that can help us be able to increase our self-awareness. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about 8 key ones that I think that will really help a lot of us who want to grow in the area of emotional self-awareness. We've already seen this diagram of sorts when we talked about the 3 components of emotions, and we said that these components of emotions were the thoughts right here, okay, and we said that our thoughts include elements of appraisal and interpretation, but our thoughts also include elements of the mental experience of an emotion, our understanding of how the emotion is feeling, and the decisions and judgments that we have about about what is happening and what we want to do, how we want to act. And we also said that feelings here have to do with the physiologic response, the sensations that we feel in the body, and that our behaviors right here, the behavioral responses that ensue from our emotional experience. We know that emotions are motivational by nature. They cause us to want to act in a particular way. So the first 3 methods that we're going to look at, the first 3 practices, so to say, that we're going to use to be able to increase our self-awareness are going to have to do with our thoughts, our feelings, and our behavior. So let's get right into it. So again, the first method here is going to be monitoring your bodily sensations. What do I mean? Like, as we talked about here, we said that with these 3 components of our emotions, that emotions start in the brain. Emotions originate in the brain, in the area of the brain called the limbic region, the limbic area, and then these emotions spread throughout the body through autonomic nervous system, endocrine system, and it causes physical sensations that we can feel in our body. But even though these physical sensations are things that happen because in our body, the sensations in all of our body, we perceive those sensations in our brain, and so what we call feelings are those physical sensations, and this is what we're focused on here, monitoring our bodily sensations. We live in a world that is very busy, okay? We are overscheduled, our lives are cramped, and we usually don't have time to be able to just listen to our body, be aware of our bodily sensations, be aware of our heart rate, our breathing, just be able to monitor our breathing and see, and be able to sense the muscles in our neck, to be able to sense the muscles in all of our body, our legs and hands, and just see if they're tense or relaxed and things like that. This is what we're talking about here, and I encourage people who want to increase this in this area of self-awareness to pick times during the day. It could be about 4 times a day, where, say, in the morning, you take a few seconds and you just take a deep breath, and you may close your eyes if you want, and just ask yourself, how are you feeling right now? And you sense, you don't think when you ask that question. You try to sense how your body is. What's your body posture? Okay, are you slouched over? You want to check your muscle sensations all over your body. When you do this at different times of the day, you would even check how your facial muscles. Are you smiling? Are you frowning? How are you carrying yourself? How do you feel? This again focuses on the sensations. Now, the next things that you're going to do when you have these periods of monitoring your bodily sensations and checking in with yourself to see how you're doing, You'll want to not only monitor your sensations, but you want to do the next thing, which is monitor your thoughts. You want to be able to see, okay, what kinds of thoughts are you having? Are your thoughts that are pleasant or unpleasant? Okay, what kinds of inclinations are your thoughts creating? Because we said that our thoughts often move us to be able to do certain things. Our thoughts are able to affect how we feel, and how we feel is able to affect our actions, and our actions feed back again and can affect how we think, and that loop sort of continues. So checking not only your bodily sensations in this same in a period that we take and want to check in ourselves, we check on our thoughts too, and see the kinds of thoughts, be aware of our thoughts. And also we need to be aware not only of our thoughts, but be aware of our behaviors. How are we acting? If you were to, how are we acting? Are we talking to? Are we in a meeting with somebody and we are and we have our arms crossed and we are frowning, or what kinds of things are we doing? And what emotional states are being reflected by the actions that we are portraying? Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, is a saying. And it's also very true that our outward actions are a reflection of our inner life. The behaviors that we portray, how we act on the outside, is a reflection of the kind of emotional state that we have on the inside that is motivating those actions. So checking our behaviors is a very good way to look and be able to discern and have those behaviors serve as clues to what is going on inside, and then we can be able to modify it when we talk about self-management practices in the future. We talked about naming your emotions. There's this aphorism in psychology that name it to tame it. Research has shown that the mere act of simply naming your emotions, for example, if you were to listen to yourself in a session that you take for a few seconds, to just take a deep breath and listen to yourself, listen to your breathing and to your heart rate and your the muscles of your body, from your face, neck, shoulders down to your legs, and just listen and see. Just get a sense. Are you very aroused? What's the level of what's the level of energy in your body? Okay, when you do that, you need a very important step that you need to do is to name the emotion that you think you're feeling. Obviously, you would have learned and understood that, I'm feeling anxious. You say, you name that. Just the mere fact of saying I'm feeling anxious instead of I'm feeling bad or I'm feeling good. Those are very vague. Something more specific. I'm feeling angry. Even I'm feeling jealous. Just simply naming that, research has shown that triggers parts of your brain that begin to help you address or manage that particular emotional state. So just simply naming your emotion is a very important thing to do. The fifth thing that is a fifth practice is to develop a rich emotional vocabulary, language, and knowledge. Our emotions are so important in the way they affect our lives. We are emotional beings. From the time we wake up in the morning to the time we go to bed, we have our emotions ebb and flow. They rise and fall, and our emotional state determines how we act. When you see somebody who is in a very sad mood, or who even has clinical depression, you see that person is very hopeless. They are not motivated to do anything at all. They have little motivation. The emotions are causing them to feel like that, to just not care, not be motivated at all. But you see somebody who's happy and excited. They want to do things. They want to venture outside. They want to do. They might even bite more than they can chew because they're excited and they just feel like they can do. Emotions are motivating people to be able to act. So, but developing a rich emotional vocabulary, language, and knowledge allows you not only to be able to understand how emotions are affecting your body and what is going on when you're feeling those tingly sensations, when you're feeling butterflies in your stomach, or you're feeling a knot in your stomach, or when you're feeling just flushed and a little hot. You will be able to describe what is happening and use emotional vocabulary that can help you communicate with other people and be able to name their emotions. Because this idea of naming emotions not only works with you naming your own emotions. If you're in a relationship with someone and you see that they are frustrated and very frustrated about something, you naming the emotion, telling them that it appears that they're very frustrated about what is going on. Just you calling or placing a label on that is very important. It helps them be able to diffuse the emotion, help them reflect over it, and actually get that emotion under control faster. Okay. So another point that is very important is to accept your emotions and to own your emotions. A lot of people try to suppress their emotions. They act like some emotions are bad and other emotions are good. We've established already that emotions are neither bad or good, that emotions are information. They're signals about what is going on in your body, and understanding and accepting that is crucial, it's important, and a first step to be able to then work to use your emotions to achieve your goals. And owning your emotions means taking responsibility over your emotions. There are people who are always trying to accuse or place the responsibility of their emotions on other people. They say, you made me feel angry, you made me feel sad, or even you made me feel happy. No one controls our emotions. Our emotions and how we feel is our own responsibility. People may offend us, but how we respond is something that we choose. Know your emotional triggers. This is another one that is very important. This is a practice that when you do will also enhance your emotional self-awareness. We all have triggers. We all have people and things that push our buttons and cause us to be irritated, anxious, angry, and things like that. A very big step in emotional self-awareness is taking some time, reflecting, and being a student of your own emotions and identifying what things usually trigger you. Is it your boss? Is it traffic? Some people get irritated when it gets stuck in traffic. What is it? Is it your mother-in-law? When you discover the person or thing that is causing, you should ask why, and keep asking why until you get to the root cause of your emotional triggers. And the eighth thing we're looking at is gain perspective through self-distancing. What is self-distancing? Self-distancing is the practice of looking at our own past experience through the perspective of an outside observer. We essentially step out of ourselves and our experience, and we look as though we are a fly on the wall, or we look as though we're someone else looking from the outside, and we basically see what is going on, and we use words to be able to speak about it in the third person. So that's one way to self-distance is using words, language. And instead of speaking in a self-immersive way that is saying using I statements, I'm angry because of this or that, I don't like this, I don't like that. A person who is self-distancing, you would use the third person or would use their name. For example, I would say, Kenneth is not happy with this. I am not happy with this. Okay. Another way so using language. The second way, which we sort of touched on already, that you can self-distance is to be able to use one's imagination and visually become a fly on the wall and then you see the whole picture, okay, as a third person will see it. So one, by using language, then the second one is by just visualizing an observer that is an outside observer, that is not that's not connected to the situation and not emotionally involved. Okay, so those are 8 key ways that you can use to increase your self-awareness. Again, I encourage people who want to grow in their ability to be more self-aware to take some time, maybe every 4 hours in the morning, for example, when you wake up, and you can take a few seconds to a minute and just ask yourself, take a deep breath and ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? And listen and sense your body. Not think, but listen, sense, and feel the sensations in your body. Pay attention to your breath and to your heart and to your heartbeat, and see, is it fast or slow? Pay attention to the muscles in your neck, the muscles in your face, the muscles in your shoulders and hands, in your torso, in your legs. Pay attention to your posture and just relax and see, what are you feeling? What are you sensing? What emotion is it? Where on the mood meter would you place that emotion? Okay, again, monitor your thoughts and things like that. So doing these 8 things every 4 hours, when you wake up, at noon, towards the end of your workday, and before you go to bed at night, would help you be able to develop the habit of self-awareness and use practices that will help you be able to grow in your emotional self-awareness.